Alright, this is part 2. I ended up in a dump. I'm going to attempt to climb the refuse pile to get out of here. Oh, Kenworth. That's that old Kenworth I was talking about right there. I'm gonna grab the refuse pile because I don't know if you're allowed to trespass here or not. This is the easiest way to get out of here, is up over the pile. It's a couple 100 feet of elevation for the whole walk. I'm gonna have to. Alright. So we're up on top now. You can see that's a lengthy drop. So we're gonna want to be careful, but we made it out of the dump. As you can probably hear, I'm pretty winded. But it was a pretty good hoof up the side of the refuse pile. You know, me and my broskies, we ride bikes up here and stuff. It's nothing too serious. But we call this section of the pile itself the death drop because it's kind of curved. You can see there. You kind of just rip right down the path here and hopefully don't hit a big rock and go head over shoulders over the handlebars and smack face first into the ground. So I'm going to make my way down the so-called death drop here. And right down here at the end is where things get real steep. So I'm going to have you guys hold on a second. Once I get down here, I should be able to, get around all the debris and rocks. Alright, we're down the bottom of the death drop. This is an internal view of the refuse pile. And if you look over here, this is a section of rail from the Pennsylvania Railroad Martin branch that I showed you guys in part 1. There's another piece right there. Those are 2 pieces of rail from the original Martin branch. If we walk over here, they have fires up here and everything in this section of the refuse pile. Over here at one point, there's apparently a deer carcass. I don't see it. Oh, now I see it. Yeah, there's bones in there. See all the bones, the fur, parts of the power wheels. Yeah, but that's the carcass that was up here. It still partially is. You can see part of its leg, which is kind of gross and disturbing. But they dropped the rest of it over here. Whatever animal got that deer, they ripped it apart and dropped it in 2 places. The other one was back there. This is the second dropping spot. And as you can see, there's ribs, bones, and that right there is the stump of what's left of a deer's hoof. And that's kind of disgusting. Yeah, there's lots of wild animals up here in this section, so it makes sense why you would find deer carcasses everywhere. Fortunately, though, they are kind of rare to find fresh. They are extremely common to find this decomposed. And as you can probably see, these guys are nothing but bone. Alrighty. So we've made it out of the Martin Branch muck, that big old mud pile. We're gonna go ahead and make our way back into town. We're gonna follow the other section of the Martin Branch, which went through town itself. Even though I'm only going to be able to follow it for a short period of time because it passes through some people's properties. So I don't want to trespass on their property like I did to the dump back there. Because I always like to be respectful of property, even though that was pretty much my only way out of the Martin Branch, was to climb up over that hill. Now we're back onto semi-flat ground. Now if you look here, it's starting to split. The refuse pile is starting to split, which is not usually a good sign. Because if you look up there, that shadow right there, that's me for size comparison. And then that right there is the refuse pile. If that thing collapses, I'm pretty much done for. And if my friends are up here as well, we're pretty much all done. So, whenever you're doing stuff like this, you gotta watch out for hazards. For example, giant cracks in the ground, like, oh yeah, those are normal. Alright, now we're gonna head past this soiled towel, or that's a pillow. We're gonna head past the soiled pillow. Who the heck threw a car door back here? Huh. Weird. But we're coming out of the Martin Branch's town stretch right here. This is where it comes down. And as soon as we pop out on the other side, it's going to pop us right behind a car part shop. And then we're going to make some turns and we'll be able to follow the rest of the branch, because the branch actually crossed the river up here, or creek up here, on a bridge which has since been removed. So we're going to have to use the sidewalks on Main Street, and we're going to have to turn on some alleys to get to the correct place. So I will stop this video here, and I'll post another one whenever we get there. Alright, so this is West Slope Rail Fanning. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!